Hey, hey everyone, happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm here with my girl Stacy, as promised, coming in live right now, even though her and I are on Zoom, because we're hoping that some people will pop in, and if not, that's okay. We get that everyone is pretty much working, but the beauty of this is that we get to record the call, and we also figured that if some of you are live on the group right now, you'll catch us as well. So happy Thursday, happy kind of like week 3, right? I mean, ever since I started my challenge group, I'm on week 3. I'm on my week 3 on my actual program that I'm doing myself. And so time is going by fast. Stacy, what do you think? We're already almost January's like
and then we have a really, next month is short. It's 28 days. It's our shortest month out of the whole year. And then March and then spring, which is crazy already. So we're almost out of that winter trench. So we just have to hang tight for just
little
two
bit
and a
more.
half more months. That's it. That's it.
Yep. So, Stace, I love that you're here with me. I love doing all these things with you because it just gets, different perspectives out there. And so I'd love for you to share with us today, which I think is going to be beneficial for all our customers, our clients, all of that, is to talk about how to turn resolutions into results. And where were you as, a new challenger so that people can relate and say, I'm there. I just committed. I'm still a little bit lost. Let's see if maybe we could bring them some, value where they could say, yes, I see myself in her story.
Yeah, 100%. I think the big thing too is the way for me to share that is just to share with you my walk. I think it's just as simple as that because that creates relatability. That creates like, oh, she's no different than me. And everything about what we do is such a circle of life, like the comparison and the joys and the setbacks and the momentum forward. Like we all do it. And so that makes us an equal, right? So to take myself back, I want to take you guys back to when I started and, talk about when I give you all these layers, it could very well have been an antidote to create a quit and an exit strategy, right? We all have the girl, I just don't have enough time. Like this is how it could have gone. Demetria, I can't, Kenzie is 3 months old. Her nap schedule, I got to really focus on her. Ryan, he's in kindergarten. I just like homework and this new, like there's 3 new lives happening here. I'm overwhelmed. I just can't do it. When in fact, it was quite the opposite for me because I already knew what putting myself on a shelf felt like. And it wasn't making me a good mom. It wasn't making me a strong mom. It wasn't making me a healthy mom for the children that I promised that I would have and hold for as long as I possibly could while I'm living and breathing. And along with that, the vow that I made to my husband, I mean, let's back it up before children and let's back it up before a husband. What about me? What about me? And I lost that one a long time ago, right? So when I started, it was very simple. I did not put my daughter first at 3 months old. I put me first. And by putting me first, I actually was putting her first. And I started to see that very simply by just placing her in a little Exa saucer and her swinging while I pressed play. And I'll tell you, when she got to be a little more sensory aware, and at the end, when 21 Day Fix Autumn would clap, she actually, I wish I had video of it. She actually would clap and I had video of her stretching and she would stretch when she was little.
How cute.
So you know what that showed me too her and I weren't verbally communicating yet, right? She was watching. And I knew from that first moment forward, it was the first gift the community gave me. She was not going to be a version that I had to unwire later. So it was very easy for me to start figuring it out. But I'll tell you, the golden nugget is the community. It's the post every day. I know it sounds like really silly, but the little things like the easy shake, the easy post, whether or not you killed it in your nutrition, whether or not you finished the whole, some days I only did 10 minutes in my workout because that's all I could do. And then the next day I was like, well, what about 11 minutes? What about 13 minutes? And it just grew rather than just like, I can't, because I did not want to create an exit strategy on rebirthing who I was supposed to be.
I love that,
Yeah.
Stacy. I love that.
Yeah.
And let me jump in and just add that, it's exactly what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
funny. I was listening to a podcast just this morning, and it was talking about micro discipline habits
Yes.
versus macro disciplinary habits, right?
Right.
And we tend to look at the macro. People that jump on with us, they're like, oh girl, you're a coach, you're already at your goal weight, of course you've achieved so much, of course it's easy for you. They're looking at the macro, spectrum of our journey, right? We've
Right.
reached our weight goal, we've mastered the containers, but they're not seeing the micro daily discipline habits that we put in years ago. You and I,
Yeah.
me 5 years ago, it
Yeah.
was the baby steps. It was removing the ginger ale from my diet and the sugar. It was adding the water. It was adding the, activity, the movement for 30 minutes. It was measuring my food versus stuffing myself with overplated foods. Does that make, you know what I mean? So
100%.
so I think people get so caught up with looking at the macro and they're not seeing the value in the micro. So you nailed it, because
Yeah.
today I was listening to that. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
it's the success comes within the baby steps every single day that then compound.
100%. And you know what's funny too? You're taking me back because I remember my very first meal prep. You'll die. I'm not joking. I bought the little mini bag of those baby carrots.
Yes.
And I brought it home. And John goes, and I
You're
said,
meal prepping?
I meal prepped. And he goes, if that's how this shit works, okay. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, but I don't eat vegetables. So here's back carrots. But it really started. But before that, it started with my Shakeology. Kinsey would sleep in her little bassinet in my bedroom. And I woke up and I just went downstairs. And the first couple of shakes, they tasted like butt. I'm sorry. They were awful. They were horrendous. I didn't know, like I had it with water. And my coach thankfully taught me, she goes, your palate is not mature enough for that kind of health. And I was like, damn. And she goes, Stacy, you go to McDonald's every day. You told me for a large Diet Coke with extra ice. Your taste buds aren't there yet. Just like wine. At one point, I hated wine. Now I love wine. It's an acquired taste over time. So I would go downstairs and make my shake and tweak it and do these small little tweaks, milk, water, ice, blending. I just started figuring it out, but I always went downstairs and I brought it up, and then I would wake her up and I would change her. And it was a very beautiful moment because that's when I took it from surface level to spiritual level, because I would nurse her while I had my nutrition. And I knew in that moment what was going into me was coming out to her. And her taste is good and she's 5. And I really believe that was the fundamentals to start her on a good path at such a young age.
That's so powerful. For me, it was opposite, Stacey. I loved the shake from the very beginning. And I was very proud of myself that I was actually drinking a shake.
Drinking
I
it,
used
yeah.
to be the girl that would say, I'm not a shake girl.
Oh,
I don't
me
do
too.
shakes. I like to chew my food. And then, when I started drinking Shakeology and I loved it, I was like, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. And now my kids drink it. My husband drinks it. It's beautiful. And I know that like for me, it's worth every penny, because
Yep.
I mean, I think that we function so much better when we have great nutrition.
Yep.
So definitely. Okay. So you made this journey happen. Meanwhile, you have 2 little ones. You didn't let objections get in your way. You didn't let time be something. You made it a priority. If somebody right now had a cheat meal or just fell off the wagon, what can you share with me? What advice can you share with me 3 weeks in? Is there anything that you can just add in case there's somebody right now saying, I'm a total failure, like I already messed up?
Number 1, cut that crap out. You're not a failure. Failure is one thing. When you cancel and quit, that's failing. That's it. That's all it is. So let it go. Like in school, remember we had A, B, C, and D. I mean, honestly, like grades, if you show up and you try, you should always get an A, right? So for me, I didn't remove lots of things in the beginning. like my coach told me, I would say things like, Demetria, I really like my Diet Coke. Like I really like, I have to have it. And she was like, then don't let it go. And I go, really? And she's like, you are integrating. And when that's time, it's going to go. So let go of these rules you're starting to create, which is going to create friction and frustration. So I was also smoking at the same time, a little bit when I had a cocktail. Okay. So I'm just going to be honest with you because that's what I was doing. So it wasn't like buy the challenge pack, throw all the bad habits away. It was buy the commitment pack, stay committed to the commitment and watch what happens over time. I don't overcomplicate things because I can't. I'm not an honor roll student. I didn't go to college. I'm a basic kind of a girl, and I know you can get by that way. But you don't have to cut corners either. Grow into it. That's it. Eventually, I don't go to McDonald's anymore because my health matured and I allowed to see what keep going looked like. And I wrote that on a sticky pad in my medicine cabinet. In fact, it's still there. 6 years later, it's very ugly looking, but it's still there. And it just says, just keep going. And that also rewired me to when I had those doubts and those fears and those wanting to quit moments. I was like, but you already know what that girl looks like. Why would you even? Nope. And I would just go back. Whether I had a great workout, whether I lost a pound, I didn't care. I knew everything would move in the direction I needed to if I just kept seeing what it looked like to keep going another day. That's it. That's it.
I agree. I love that. I love that. So basically, when people are like, okay, turning resolutions into results, we've kind of shared with them exactly what to do, right? We know, or they know that, they have the tools at their hands. They have their workouts with using Beachbody on demand. If they, wanted to start drinking more water, they have to make sure that they have their water bottle close by. I actually set timers on my phone's alarms to remind me, drink some water. Mindset work. Hopefully, the ladies are reading personal development. I know I always recommend to my customers The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect, and T is for Transformation. Those are the 3 books that I always say those are critical when you're starting out your journey, and they're so, so good.
Yeah.
That's mindset work. Community. If you're leaning in, dropping your selfie, you're not only holding yourself accountable, but we get to be a part of the journey. And that's holding you accountable to say, hey, you got your resolutions and now you're turning them into results.
Yeah.
Are you taking your pictures? Are you taking your measurements to see the results of the hard work? So when people say, okay, I have all these resolutions, am I progressing? Yes. Look at all the things that, you're already getting results. If you're leaning in, if you're leaning into the community and to all the tools, if you're using your Shakeology, if you're drinking it, knowing that you are turning the resolution of becoming healthier into actually getting the results of actually drinking a shake, a superfood, amazing dense nutrition shake every day. It's using the containers if they're doing the portion fix, turning those resolutions of portion control into results, being educated how to eat right and actually doing it. It's a lot of things that you could be doing to turn those resolutions into results. I know I've seen them already. I'm sure, Stacy, you can agree with me that you've seen your results already. Differences. You and I agreed in the beginning of the year that we're going to wake up early and jump on a workout every day at 6:30 with our virtual gym, the No Snooze crew. And we've been doing that. So we are turning our resolutions into results. And so we're here today to just basically remind you that you can, and that if you feel at any moment or you felt some type of deviation, reel it back in, sister. Like, think of what Stacy just said. Just keep going.
And I think the big thing too, Suzette, is and this I definitely want to I always say shine the light. I don't say struggles, I say gifts. So that's kind of a language that I want people to learn from me and from us, is lean in. What was your gift, aka hard things, challenging things, stressful things? Because if you say gift, You may not believe like the ceiling, the flood is your gift, right? It's an awful crapola thing, right? I get it. But if you keep saying the hard words, it's going to make it hard. And the more you say it into a positive and you realize life is truly working for you rather than against you, even those things, those negative things, they are your gifts. They're showing you, how are you going to handle? How are you going to persevere? How are you going to flip and change quickly to get to where you need to be? So I also know that a lot of us, we all have hard, challenging things, but I'm going to say we all have gifts. We all have gifts, and you have to make a decision whether your gift will allow you to lean in to show you that you actually are capable of being the hero and the voice of your story, but you have to show up. And the best thing too is when you do a post, for example, you might say something like, God, I'm having a really awful day. My life is not going for me. I'm going to comment and I'm going to say, but what if it's going for you? I'm going to help you change your mindset, because the biggest battle and the heaviest weight is what's in between our ears. And we are our own worst enemies, and we were also our greatest gifts. So like we talked about the car, you got to have the positive and the negative to drive the car. You need that to drive your life. It's a requirement.
Yes.
And we want to teach that, and we want to have you adopt that mentality and then see how your life goes.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I love it, Stacey. I love it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and leave them with just one more resource for this month, because this will be the last call for this month. And so I just kind of wanted to share with you. I've gotten in my group, I actually got one comment from a customer who said, I'm feeling very bloated. And so I don't know exactly what it is. And I figured that if she's dealing with that, and I've dealt with that in the past, I'm sure many are dealing with it and they probably just don't want to say. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen 2 seconds to show you that we're going to drop this elimination tracker inside the group so that you have access. And what you're going to do is you're basically going to print it out and you're going to jot down, pretty much what it is that you are eating. If you're having something with gluten on day 1 and you remove it, how will you feel on day 2 and 3? Same thing with dairy, with soy, with coffee. And then you can track your digestion, your mood, if you have headaches, your energy level, your sleep, all the issues. Okay. Yep. So basically, it's just really logging and tracking what you're eating, and then see how you feel when you remove it.
Right.
And I've done it in the past, vice versa. I've actually, removed it, and I have like written down how I like feel without it. And then when I bring it back, I've seen how my digestion will go right back to feeling irritated. So I know that that's exactly like the food that's causing, some discomfort. If you end up being sensitive to a food and you don't need to remove you don't need to remove the food completely, permanently from your thing, is just give it a break, or maybe have it just a couple of months rather than eating it every day, to see if maybe, that helps you. So it's discovering food sensitivities by tracking what you eat and how it affects you. Yep. So I think that that's a really important resource, because a lot of people deal with that. A lot of foods cause inflammation and discomfort. And so that's something that can actually help them. So
also too, Susie, you know what I like about that? You just made me think about it. A lot of times we, as women, we don't actually, it's almost like, when you go to a doctor's office, right, and they see you once a year, they simply open up a chart, right, and they just read your blood work when you were here last, and then they're giving you advice on what to do. You are the same person, my friend. Okay, you get to open up your file to your life, food, relationship, spirituality. This is all part of it. And you get to look at the chart, the data, what you've been doing, what you haven't been doing, what you need to add into your life, and go, okay, Stacy, I want to see you go to bed every night this week at 10:30. You don't need somebody else to tell you that. What you need is the group and the community, so you can always shine light. It's always a light, right? And you're never a failure. I really want to reiterate that. people, you're not a failure. You are actually, when you get into a group like this, the best gift comes. You start to buy into you, not things. And these tools help you buy into you. It's not the next shiny object. You are the next shiny object. You just keep missing her all the time. So when you go to the mirror today, or you go outside and you see your shadow, buy into her a little bit. And these tools and these tracking things show you, like, this is how my body works. This is how my body operates. And this is how my body shines and thrives. Because Susie could thrive on eggs, and it could be my poison. And I'll tell you what the cool thing is about an accountability group and having a partner. She helps me reword my stuff, flip my script, so I can be better every day. And I do that for her too. So that's why the group is so vital, because we literally are a sisterhood beyond the scale.
Yes, absolutely. Because we're doing that for one another, and it's just there. It's leaning in for the help, the mindset, the encouragement, all the things, all the things. And so that's basically our message for you today.
Yeah.
Stacy, thank you for sharing, your feelings and your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences in all the years that we've been doing this. We've gotten better at it, and it's the same for them. They just have to master their craft, master their process, their journey, and they will as well, see how it does compound into successful habits and results. They just have to lean in, and many of them are doing it. I have to applaud. Many of them are doing it.
A ton.
But yes, but there's always a few that feel like, if no, group is not for me, or I don't have time for posting. It's like you said, they're not investing in themselves,
And that's also the gift. It's the gift, that little tug where you don't want to is actually meaning you actually do want to.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. Yes. Amen.
Yeah.
All right, Stacy, thank you so much. Ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. We can't wait to continue to encourage you, cheer you on, and be a part of your journey. So I hope you girls stay safe, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.